The guy looks like a try-hard. Well, he's a poser, isn't he? That's how these people behave. He's he's a model. He's whatever he is. He's probably quite successful at it, but
and he's a gay model.
Oh, there we go. They just said the bit out loud. They've said the quiet bit out loud. He's a gay model. Sound the alarms. He's gay. Sound the alarms. Oh no! You know, it's not very often that I watch a video so brazen, so awfully bad, and just genuinely terrible on so many levels, not just in terms of, you know, the actual video itself, but more so what it represents, its contents, that I feel compelled to talk about it. But in fact, someone actually asked me to talk about this video. At Sammy D over on Twitter said, at TheresYT, please shut these homophobic gimboids down for a video. And it led me to this thumbnail and this video, which is Russell T Davies, Ultimate Doctor Who Disrespect. And it's a picture of Oliver Cole. And we'll get into, if you haven't heard about this, who he is. I'm going to be giving you all the details as we go through this. But basically, in essence, this is a video of people full on just having a go at this guy for the way he walks, the way he acts, and basically saying that it's the ultimate disrespect to Doctor Who. And I mean, you can tell by the title, obviously, Sleazy Rider. We know what they're implying there. So I'm just going to let this video play, and I'm going to pause it intermittently to basically give you guys extra context. But this video is so bad and so mean-spirited that, like, I felt compelled to speak on it. And yeah, we're going to get right into it. For the sake of full transparency as well, many years ago, I was interviewed by this person for a podcast when I was like 16 and I was starting out in the fandom. But clearly, you know, since then, they've gone way off the rails. And this is just absolutely disgraceful. And if someone doesn't use their platform to call it out, then I worry that we're creating a community and we're creating a platform where this stuff is allowed to thrive. And I do not think that it is acceptable. So let's have a look, shall we?
We are a divided community.
I agree.
Fans, even at the best of times, I think. I mean, very, very seldom do we meet in anything approaching unity, particularly in troubled times. And the series is experiencing, once again, troubled times. This week, however,
sure,
the various factions, well, we did sort of lay down our arms to some degree, I think, regardless of our tastes, our ideologies. And each of us was asking the same question. Who's that wanker?
And then they go on to play the video, which if you haven't seen is a video of influencer Oliver Cole going around the TARDIS, obviously being on the set and, you know, pressing all the buttons and stuff. You've probably all seen the video. And basically, if you weren't aware of this situation, there was a lot of confusion around this initially of people saying, is this guy the next Doctor? Whatever, stuff like that. And obviously he came out and said he wasn't. Now, obviously it's speculated now that he is Russell T Davies' new partner, and there's been much discourse surrounding that, which I will also get into. In fact, I made an entire YouTube short about that and my kind of opinion on that. But setting that aside for just a moment, I want you guys to hear how they talk about this guy and, like, the things that they say about him, because it's genuinely awful. But yeah, carrying on a bit here.
Yes, just when you think that Doctor Who has been served all the indignities it's possible that can be served upon a cultural institution, you spy something like that.
I want to make it very clear. They are talking about a video of some guy on the TARDIS for what amounts to about 20 or 30 seconds. Truly the ultimate form of disrespect. Genuinely, I can't believe they would do this. Who let this happen? Who signed off on such an indignity? It's an Instagram video of a guy. Like, that's what we're talking about here.
Shared onto social media, featuring this guy who I'm told his name is Oliver Cole. It lasts about 50 seconds, but it seems like about 5 hours. I've not really the faintest idea who this guy is. I've never heard of him, never seen him before. There seems to be some sort of model and influencer and professional poser. Okay, people do that. He's an influencer of sorts. I'm still not really sure where Doctor Who comes in, though. You have to dig a little deeper there, specifically over on Russell T. Davies' Instagram. This is Russell's social media of choice. He's quite active over on there. And so he said, "Happy birthday, Oliver."
So yeah, this is when people kind of assumed that, like, oh, is this the 16th Doctor? And there was a lot of confusion around that, which makes sense. This was posted on Doctor Who Day, which also just so happened to be Oliver Cole's birthday. You know, so I don't blame people for kind of assuming that. But the things that they go on to say about this are crazy.
And that seems to be where all this originates. They posted that video seemingly as a birthday present for Oliver Cole. It was evidently professionally filmed and even scored.
Obviously, I can't show the full video because, obviously, copyright, because the music playing over it is like a Doctor Who, like a Murray Gold score. But am I crazy, or does this just look like a normal video shot on a phone by somebody? Like, they're acting as though they got the entire production out to, like, give this guy, like, a filmic moment, when in reality, to me at least, and looking at, like, the quality, and you can even see some of the compression there, and I'll grant, you know, this has obviously been taken from his Instagram and put here as well, so that could have averted the compression. But still, to me, this just looks like a guy filming a video on his phone of him on the TARDIS. Now, this is not actually that uncommon. Several influencers have been invited onto the TARDIS set to film little videos for promotional purposes. And again, they all kind of look like this. You know, they've got the portrait kind of being filmed on a phone. You know, it's basically, for a lot of them, it's basically just like a bit of promotion. Obviously, even I myself have gotten close to the TARDIS. I haven't been on the TARDIS. I haven't had that privilege. But they're acting as though this has been some, like, massive production that's been put on for this guy. When, like, no, it just kind of looks like a phone video that was taken in about 30 seconds, which I'm not, you know, I'm not having a go at this guy's filming skills or anything like that. But to pretend that, like, the huge amount of resources were used on this is insane. Like, people visit the TARDIS fairly often. In fact, Russell said in a recent interview that they wanted to make the lighting, turning it off and on, easier, so that when they had visitors, they could do that easier, because so many people would visit in the first era, and it was a whole faff to get all the lights on and stuff. So it's worth repeating that that's what it is. What this entire 20-minute, like, segment is dedicated to is effectively some guy doing a video on the TARDIS. A 30-second video. And at this point as well, obviously a lot of the speculation about him being Russell's partner, like, obviously we didn't know that at the time. Obviously it seems more likely now that he is. And I've made my points on that clear before. As far as I'm concerned, I don't care. I think what these people do in their own private lives, what two fully grown adults do in their own private lives, should be nobody's business. As a person, I am an incredibly live and let live person. As far as I'm concerned, if you're not hurting anybody, and you're both happy, and, you know, you're not doing anything wrong, or illegal, or anything like that, you do you. Like, I don't know why we feel so compelled to feel like we are in a position to pass judgment down on people we don't know. I don't get it. Like, I don't judge people. I think, you know, at the end of the day, like, people, as long as they're, you know, safe and happy and healthy and not doing anything wrong, should be left to do what they want. But anyway, carrying on. He says it was scored as well, and this is another thing that, like, they keep coming back to, but if you watch the video, it's just got some old Doctor Who music overlaid on top of it. Genuine question, because I appreciate that a lot of these people are older. Have you never heard of just putting some like music on top of like an Instagram reel or like a TikTok, it's not a big, it's not a big effort. It's not like they had the National Orchestra of Wales in the background doing all the score while this guy was there. It was probably just, I'll film a video of me, pressing some buttons on the TARDIS for my Instagram. Oh, and then I'll add, I don't know, the Doctor's theme or whatever theme it was that he chose. I can't remember. And that was kind of it. And I can tell you that this is how it works because I do it. I do regular shorts and reels and TikToks where I put sometimes Doctor Who music, sometimes other music in the background. And it is literally as simple as pressing a button. But they're acted like this was some professionally scored and shot production. But it's just not that. Like, it's the level to which we're extrapolating from something that's realistically minuscule. And again, this video is 23 minutes long.
On the actual TARDIS set, think, well, where does this guy come in? And it really does. Is it really as simple as it looks? And that Russell T Davies just has a massive horn. He's totally thirsty for this guy. Yeah, he's not exactly got a massive following. I've never heard of him. He's probably a nice enough guy. Takes his mother flowers every now and again, all that kind of thing. Nice to puppies and small marsupials. But I find all of this nauseating in the extreme on about 10 levels. Russell T Davies all over this guy's social media, telling him how amazing he is.
Look at this as well. I want to make clear obviously I'm only going off of the ones he's chosen here. The two instances he's chosen are two pictures of this guy that Russell T Davies has liked, and Oliver's, said a little bit of something, and Russell T Davies, what's the heinous, terrible, nauseating thing Russell T Davies has said that has got this man's ire? Morning, kiss. Pretty views and prettier people, feeling so grateful. Russell T Davies, amazing. The way these people are talking, you'd think that, like, there was some kind of, I don't know, like, some kind of, like, open, like, I don't know. I don't even know what would be said here to justify this reaction. Like, as if he was literally, like, flirting with him, like, publicly, but, like, really, really strongly and really, really, I don't know, forcefully. But again, like, that's not what this is. It's morning and amazing. And that's it. And that's what constitutes a 23-minute long video where you're calling this the ultimate disgrace to Doctor Who.
Just what the fuck is going on?
This gets a lot worse, by the way.
It's a sickness.
It's a sickness. It's a sickness. So that wasn't the main host, that was another guy. I think he said his name was Matt. That's a wild thing to say about, obviously, someone who, I assume, obviously given all of the relationship with Russell, is, gay. Like, that's an insane thing to say. And I know he will go on to say a little bit more after this, but just saying that, and, like, the charged use of language here, and it does get worse, is insane.
I think. I for the longest time have worried about certain people in charge of the Doctor Who production company, and to allow this person just willy-nilly who it's just it's just a performative act that is the reason why Doctor Who is failing.
Because a gay guy was on the TARDIS. Shock horror, everyone. A gay guy's on the TARDIS. Doctor Who is ruined. It's disgraceful. Are we being serious right now? Genuinely, am I the only one that's, like, looking at this and going, what?
It's just to the point where I have no idea who this person is. I don't give a shit.
Okay, you don't have to. Why are you making a 23-minute long video about it then?
And the fact is that it just makes it more annoying to us as fans that this is the stuff they're pumping out. I never...
They're not pumping it out officially. This is the other thing as well. They keep acting like this was like an official release, like a press thing, like BBC Doctor Who posted this. This is not to do with the Doctor Who brand. To make it incredibly clear, one guy was invited onto the TARDIS, who may or may not be Russell T Davies's new partner. Again, I don't know. That seems to be the case, but again, I don't like to speculate on that stuff too much. And these people are so bent out of shape at the sight of this man that they have gone on to make an entire 23-minute long video about that. I keep emphasizing that this is 23 minutes long because they keep seeing how like, oh, this video is like, 50 seconds long, but it feels like hours, and oh, he had this whole production done, which he didn't, on the TARDIS. When you've made a 23-minute long video dissecting this...
In that video before. That's the first time I've seen this photo before, but I hadn't seen that video before. And walking around like a bloody prat.
Walking around like a bloody prat. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll play the video without sound, just so I don't get claimed. What do you think he means by that? Also, I just realised that my camera was in the way of one of their faces, so I moved my camera to the other side for your viewing convenience. Apologies.
Is
Yeah,
this Jeffree Star wannabe?
Jeffree Star wannabe, it's a sickness. Are we starting to see some of the connections here? Walking around like that? I wonder what they could mean. I wonder what this is all referring to. Interesting.
Is just, it's ridiculous. And honestly,
Matt, I have no idea. I have no idea who Jeffree Star is. But
isn't Jeffree Star, weren't they literally like charged with something as well? I'm not that familiar with Jeffree Star. I know that they were a beauty influencer who became incredibly controversial, and maybe I'm getting them mixed up, but weren't they like literally charged with something or other? So not only is it just, oh well, it's another gay person, but it's a gay person. Actually, I'm going to look it up just to make sure that I'm not saying something there that isn't right, but I'm pretty sure it is. Yes, yeah, so he has been accused of sexual assault, physical violence, racism, and attempts to pay accusers for their silence. So not only is he saying that, oh, it's a gay person, but also the specific gay person he uses is one that is a terrible person. The implication, of course, being that they're all like that.
I often find that when I talk to people from overseas, and I use British expressions like bollocks and wanker, people say, oh, what does that mean? What does that word mean? When anybody says, what does the word wanker mean? Well, this is poncing around.
He's just a guy. Like, this isn't like a paid like actor. It isn't like the next Doctor. If they thought that he was the next Doctor, I mean, I'd still think that calling him a wanker is just entirely unnecessary. But like, maybe I would get the criticism a little bit more of his performance, if you could call it that. But this is just a guy doing a 20-second video on the TARDIS.
Sniffing your own farts like that. Being not possessive of any talent whatsoever.
Being not possessive of any talent whatsoever. It's a 20-second video, the guy. Like, I cannot stress enough that that's what this 20-minute video is about. It's like a 30-second long, however long it is, video of this guy just on the TARDIS. And they've seen that as reason enough to call him a wanker, say he has a sickness, say that he's a Jeffree Star wannabe, that he's walking around and poncing around like that. Again, the implication, extremely obvious, and it's not subtle.
That's pretty much the definition of a total wanker.
I mean, I have a slightly different definition of the word wanker, Dan, and it's not Oliver in this video that is fitting it right now. I'll just say that.
How I'm trying to look at it is, obviously, happy birthday, Oliver, whoever you are. I don't begrudge anybody a nice birthday. And you know what? Maybe in the past, people, sort of extended family or friends, have been invited onto the set for special occasions, and they may have had special messages filmed for them. We know they have for children, for example, competition winners and things like that. Maybe that happens, but it's all kept private. To make something like this for somebody just out of sheer thirst, it would seem.
Jesus Christ. It's a video of him on the TARDIS for 20 seconds. The way that they're talking about it, I don't know, it's like he's stripped there. Like, I'm genuinely, like, taken aback by the response to this in this specific video. And, like, this is what I was talking about in the short, where I was saying that there are people who have just been using, like, this whole Oliver Cole, Russell T Davies thing to just be blatantly homophobic and not even try and hide that that's what this is.
And then to make it public, that everybody can see it. To me, it seems that the ultimate cheapening of this brand at this time. I mean,
it's a video of the guy on the TARDIS. Like, the vast majority of the public and people will not have seen this. The only reason we know about it is because we follow Russell T Davies on Instagram, right? And he posted "Happy Birthday, Oliver" with this picture. They're acting as though this has been beamed out to the world as, like, the next Doctor. And, like, you know, Russell T Davies is hiring him to be that just for, I don't know, whatever reason. No. It's an invite onto the TARDIS, which are incredibly common for influencers and for, you know, people of, you know, certain notorieties or, like, government officials, whatever. It's incredibly common for this to happen. So for them to act like this has been some kind of, like, ultimate taboo, this ultimate stain on, like, Doctor Who's reputation. I'd honestly argue that this video is a bigger stain on Doctor Who's reputation than anything Oliver Cole has posted, to be honest.
Does he just think that there's no more damage that it's possible to be done to the brand in the eye of the public?
Again, even if the public did find this video damaging, which the vast majority of them would probably look at it and go, it's just some guy, most of the public wouldn't see it. Like, this is not like some widely publicised thing.
Or has Russell T Davies not thought about it that far and not looked any further ahead into the future than the length of his own cock?
Are we starting to kind of, you know, like, I don't need to keep repeating myself, right? We can all tell what this is, okay? Like,
because that's certainly how it looks to me.
I think it's the timing more than anything, and I've seen a few people.
Now, this is the one point in this video I will kind of agree with. Not fully, but I will kind of agree with. So let's hear it.
Talk about this, because I saw this picture and I saw people talk about, oh, there's this video with this random guy go on the TARDIS, and it seemed to really confuse people what this is.
I will grant there were some people being like, is this the 60s Doctor? What's going on? Like, and I do think they could have been a bit clearer about that, because if you just post a picture of some guy in the TARDIS as Russell T Davies on Doctor Who Day that we haven't seen before, people are going to assume something like that. So I think they probably could have afforded to be maybe a little bit clearer that it wasn't anything to do with the show, but at the same time, they clarified within, like, an hour. I think Oliver posted something within, like, the hour. So even then, I think, you know, it's a stretch to say that did, like, tremendous damage.
And when you take it more in the context, and this is why I said timing, of we don't have a current Doctor. We don't have a current leading person that we know for sure that they are the focal point of the show at the moment. We know Billy is something. We know Billy is probably going to be in the special. But even that's just us.
This person seems a lot more normal than the rest of them. The rest of them have been sat through this entire video with, like, well, that look. You know, that look. Looking at this guy. The rest of, you know, whereas with her, she seems a bit more like, oh, I just think the timing was a bit odd, like maybe they could have been a bit more clear. Maybe she says something else later on, I don't know. But to give full credit, I think she's, like, been a lot more sensible in this video than the others have. I don't even think, has this guy said anything? I know these two have.
There's nothing officially been said from Russell, from the BBC.
So what you're pointing to is the fact that there is currently a position vacant leading this show. and that anybody remotely interested in the brand will probably know that, and then they'll see this video, and what will they think?
Well, I think it's a natural assumption then. You've not just that you've got him on the set, you've got him on the set with music, which is...
Yeah, so this is where they lose me. Like, have these guys never heard of just putting, like, a backing track on a video yourself? It takes 2 seconds. I could use... I mean, I wouldn't because I'll get copyright claim, but theoretically, it would take me 2 seconds to put the same track that Oliver Cole put on his video on the background of this video. It's not some, like, grand task. As I said earlier, it's not like they had the National Orchestra of Wales there, you know, doing, like, live music for this, and, like, an entire camera crew and, like, you know, directors for this. It was a 30-second Instagram video.
From the show, it sounds like something Murray has done, or some past music they've just plastered on top of it. And he's sort of acting out or doing a sort of ish thing of being around the TARDIS and
it's
with
half
the
an impression of David.
I mean, let's be honest though. If any of us were invited onto the TARDIS, what he does in that video, you know, fiddling with all the buttons and, you know, pressing all the big levers, that's 100% what any of us would do. So I don't begrudge him for doing that at all.
And half an impression of Shooter Gatwa, somewhere in between.
So I think at the current time when we don't know who is meant to be our lead, stuff like this is actually quite damaging's dramatic, and I wouldn't use that word.
It's a mixed signal to send.
Yes, that's a good way to put it, I would say.
Look at this guy's face, by the way. Look at the absolute, like, disgust whenever they're talking about this guy on this guy's face. It's actually mad. Like, it's not concealed at all.
Mixed signal. And the thing is, the show right now cannot have any more mixed anything going on around it when there's so many questions, when there's so much uncertainty.
I will grant Doctor Who's not in the best position right now. But again, I think to extrapolate that this video really does anything that significant to the perception of the brand is kind of laughable, in my opinion.
And I think it's just odd that it got put out with so much production. At the time it got put
Again,
out...
so much production. It's a video. It's a 20-second Instagram video on his phone. Am I just, like, younger than everyone here? Am I just the only one here that understands, like, how this stuff works? It's not that hard to whip your phone out if you're in a location and film a video there. I do it all the time. And if I was on the TARDIS, what he filmed is probably exactly what I would film. Obviously, you know, maybe with a bit more wheeling around involved, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's weird. Like, they're trying to make it seem much bigger and, like, much more produced, and like there was this entire scheme behind it, than the reality, which is he was invited there and he filmed about a 30-second long video and took a picture and then left.
Like you said, they probably do have, if they've got friends and they have them on the set, and I don't
Keep
doubt
it to
that, and I have no
themselves,
issue with that,
in between
honestly.
themselves.
Why? Like, why would it be something of shame? Why would it be something that they can't share with people? What, because he prances about and looks a bit too gay while doing it? Because that's the implication that this video has.
But why put it out in the way it did? That's what my main question is, really. Like I said, more
Oliver Cole
with the vacancy of...
Oliver Cole did read the situation, it seemed, because not long after it was published, he did offer this short statement, not the new Doctor promise kiss.
Well, we knew that anyway, because that was just that's just suicide to do that. That would be ridiculous. That would be the absolute death knell for Doctor Who.
Like,
if someone like that, after what we just have...
Someone like that. What do you mean by that? Someone like that. Can you elaborate on what you mean by someone like that? Again, I think we know what they're inferring. They just, you know, I mean, in some cases they have just full-on said the quiet part out loud, but they're not willing to just fully, you know, commit. They have to kind of go, someone like that. Oh, it's a sickness. Oh, Jeffree Star wannabe. Or, oh, you know, they look like a prat, or they're pouncing about, and we all know what they mean. But they won't fully commit. You know what? In a weird way, I would have more respect if you just went, yeah, it's because he's gay and it looks weird and I don't like it. At least then that would be you being honest. Because that's clearly what the issue is here. Because there have been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos of people on the TARDIS and like doing little things. You can go on Instagram right now and find dozens of influencers who were invited on to promote the show doing it. And did any of them get this 20-minute response? No. But as soon as it's someone who looks vaguely gay, it gets this entire diatribe and, you know, all this stuff about, you know, Russell's cock or what. It's terrible and it's disgraceful, and I don't care what your opinion on like current Doctor Who is. I don't care what your opinion on Russell T Davies's writing is. This is not an acceptable way of talking about people. I'm sorry, it's just not. And like, I thought the Doctor Who community was better than this, and I think most of it is. But the fact that this video has been up for this long, and like, obviously there are a couple of comments which we will go over challenging this video, and obviously, as I said, some people have clearly seen how bad this video was because they've directly told me, look at what these people are saying. But the fact that this, you know, this has like over 2,000 views, which isn't like, you know, crazy, but like for a small channel, you know, on a niche topic, it's not nothing, certainly. And I mean, obviously 97 likes, so there's people agreeing with this, clearly, and it's just not acceptable, in my opinion.
To have had for the last 2 years, sorry, Dan, but what we have had for the last 2 years, to have this Ponzi peacock walking around like that, just ridiculous.
Ponzi peacock, oh, there's more words there.
That would be the death knell of Doctor Who. The complete and utter obliteration of Doctor Who.
To be honest, Matt, I think if this scene got outside of the fandom, I think it would actually do a lot of damage, because it would. Okay, so all of this is now it's been cheapened to this extent that anybody and everybody has the right to be the Doctor for 50 seconds, and we could just, maybe everybody in Britain can take part. David, we do 50 seconds each. And it become like a cameo thing. We could pay for the privilege, maybe, you know, for the people who, I don't know, if they to make up for the license fees that the BBC have lost, apparently $1 billion over the last few years. Maybe they could start doing this sort of.
Wait, so what? I'm sorry. Am I going insane? Because they're acting like the idea of selling people on visiting the TARDIS, like theoretically. Obviously, this is entirely theoretical. If they sold people, oh, you can go and see the TARDIS and go and see the production of Doctor Who, that would be a bad thing? That's existed for years. I remember back when the Experience was open and people could pay extra to go and see the Capaldi set when it wasn't peak season, because they would make sure that you could see it when they weren't filming, you know, series 9 or 10 or whatever it was at the time. So paying to go on the TARDIS would not even be a new thing, and they're not even saying that that's going to happen. But even then, the idea that that's an ultimate disrespect to the brand is kind of silly, because that's been offered before as well. And in fact, multiple occasions, you know, things like, I've made an entire video talking about the Longley exhibition, where they literally put the existing TARDIS set at Longleat for a price. You know, you pay the price of a ticket to Longleat to go and see the TARDIS, among other things. It was fine then, it was fine in 2017, but as soon as someone who looks a little bit, you know, not straight ends up on it for a matter of like a minute or less, then it's an issue. Then it's, oh, the brand will never recover. It's just interesting.
Bespoke videos of yourself as Doctor Who. Oh, we won't bother making the show again. We'll just dick around with stuff like this. Indulge us.
It's not a bespoke video. Why do they keep acting like Steven Spielberg has come in to direct this? It's a 50-second Instagram video filmed in portrait with music over the top of it. Oh, maybe I'm just, like, too young and I understand how this stuff works to more of a degree than these people. But, like, to me it comes across like you're trying to make this seem like a much bigger thing than it is, for the sake of having to justify this video's existence. Because I'll be real with you, this video did not need to be made. At best, you know, if you really wanted to be, oh, that's a bit weird, you could have done, like, a singular tweet. And even then I'd be like, who cares? But come on.
I was like this. and that'll be that. I mean, am I taking this too seriously? I thought this was maddening.
Yes, Dan. Yes, you are.
Two words you've used already. First word.
Oh my God, he can speak. Oh my God, he can speak. It's been about 12 minutes, I think, 10 minutes.
Probably the biggest word. Optics. It does not look good. It does not look good at all, considering where we've been, where we are, and the fact that we have, as Charlotte and you've all said quite rightly, we have no lead actor in the role. We are doctorless, essentially. Secondly, indulgence. Absolute 100 indulgence. What am I watching? Am I watching an episode of First Dates? Am I watching...
Jesus Christ. Like, oh my God. I can't...
An episode of... God only knows what am I watching.
Again, they're acting like he's stripped. They're acting like, you know, he's... Hang on, let me get a picture of something. 1 second. So this is an image from back when Katie Manning was leaving the show. And I assume it was done for the cover of, I assume, like, Radio Times. I'm not sure whether I can actually see. This is just a link to TARDIS Wiki. But you've probably all seen this image. Hopefully I'm not going to get, like, demonetized for showing it. But where was the outrage, you know, when this happened? Where was the... Oh, this is demeaning to the brand. And for the record, you know, I'm not asking people, you know, to go up in arms at whoever commissioned this photo shoot. Reality is, it was 50 years ago. But it's interesting how this video is seen as disrespectful and demeaning of the Doctor Who brand. But then, when it's, you know, sexualization of a woman, again, here's Kylie doing the same thing on a Dalek. That's fine. And again, I'm not having a go at any of these individual people, but the point I'm making is no one batted an eye with any of this. Do you know what I'm saying? But then when a guy who is gay, presumably, does a 50-second video of him just walking about the TARDIS and flicking a couple of levers, suddenly it's disrespectful. It's demeaning of the brand. And it's like some kind of, you know, terrible thing, some terrible indictment of the show. And it's like, we all know why, right?
As you've said, and as I've spoken to other people about this, we know that people have visited the set before, across the whole 62 years.
Yep.
We know that people have watched shows being taped. We know... that we've had people playing the Doctor, aka Gareth Jenkins, in a show that we can't, obviously mention anymore.
But they were literal children.
I'm not even sure what show that is that they're referring to. I'm not sure. You'll have to let me know.
And what I'm about to say is this, and that comes off the back of what your point that you just said, Dan. We have just had children in need. What better way and what amazing optics it would have been for a short film of children of whom have benefited from children in need to visit the set and have something filmed.
I mean, they could have done that, and I mean, they have done that before, but like, that's not what this was. Like, I'm not saying they couldn't have done that. Yeah, you know, maybe they could have done that. Sure, they've done it before. But, in fact, I think that literally happened during Season 1 for Blue Peter, if I'm not mistaken. So that's not even something that they haven't done before. Maybe there was, like, other filming for other things going on at Bad Wolf, which is the reason why they couldn't this year, who knows, but this just feels like trying to make this, like, a moralistic crusade when there isn't one, you know?
And for those optics to be, for that to be put out by the channel as well, just to say, we've given these kids, you know, who've been really disadvantaged, who have benefited from children in need. We've given them this as a little memento and everything like that. And here's the film of it, of them running around and each having a go. Now, that would have been far, far better optics than somebody doing something for a friend, and I'll use the term friend because I don't want to get into trouble. Somebody's friend, and then them posting it on social media, which I don't. If that had been me, you know, I don't think I'd have got in those heels, to be fair. But if that had been me, I would not have posted that on social.
Don't lie. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If anyone was invited onto the TARDIS and they were like, oh yeah, film whatever you want, you're telling me you're not putting that anywhere? I do not believe that for a second. I'm sorry. I'm just calling that a straight up lie. We all would. And it's not a judgment on anyone. I would do it. You would do it at home. Of course we would. Why wouldn't you? And what would the harm in it be? There wouldn't be.
Social media, because as soon as you put it out there, you have no control over it anymore. And
they're acting like he's done something really bad in this video, or something that, like, the public shouldn't see. He walked about for 50 seconds and then left.
I feel that Oliver has put it out there, and then he has now experienced the wall, or the screaming wall of Doctor Who fans just coming at him from, oh my god, and blah, 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 blah. It's like when Film is Fabulous said there's going to be an announcement shortly, and then it's a case, as Gary quite rightly picked out, oh, probably shouldn't have put shortly on there, because that is it's like, it's just like a red rag to a bull to Doctor Who fans. They will feel, some of them will feel that they own him now, and I think
I mean, if that is the case, which I don't really think it is, I think they're deeping this way too much, but if that was the case and the Doctor Who fans were like feeling that they had like some sort of ownership over this guy, or were like pestering him, is that not on the individual fans for doing that? Not on someone just posting a video? Like, if that was happening, which, I mean, it might have done, I don't know, is there not some responsibility we should take if someone's being pestered and harassed? They act like, you know, the Doctor Who fandom is just this unstoppable force of nature. Like, of course you're going to get people harassing you. Like, no. If people are harassing you, then they should be called out for doing that. Again, I don't know whether that did happen in Oliver's case. I know there were a lot of people asking, you know, whether he was the 16th Doctor and so on and so forth. But people taking ownership of him? I mean, if that did happen, then call it out. But I don't think it did, which is why you have to make it this like weird hypothetical.
Personally, should he have chance to reflect on it, may come to think that perhaps that may not have been the wisest thing to do to make it so public.
Oh no, a couple people thought he was the 16th Doctor for 5 minutes. Oh no. Whatever will we do? The show's gonna collapse. Do you see how it sounds? It just sounds ridiculous.
If it had been a gift as a private video or something like that, keep it private. It's lovely. It's a lovely thing to have as a little private thing.
I just don't understand their obsession with it being, like, public. Again, they're acting like he's done something, like, completely heinous on the TARDIS set that no one should ever see, and he pressed some buttons. And as I pointed out before, it's not even new for Doctor Who to be promoted using, like, sexual content anyway. And, you know, I'm, you know, not condoning that, but I'm also not having a go at the people who were involved. You know, JNT said once, I believe his exact line was, oh, we've got to have something for the dads. I don't imagine that, you know, many of these people complained about that back then. Obviously, I wasn't alive. But, you know, as soon as it's a gay guy. And again, I want to make it clear, it's not a gay guy doing anything weird. It's literally just him on the set for 50 seconds.
That he could have that little video that nobody else has and nobody else can see. That's such a lovely private gift. But oh no, there are some people in this world now that have to share everything for.
You're sharing a 20-minute long video of your opinion on some guy. Like, are you not doing the exact same thing? Am I not doing the exact same thing? Like, we're all doing it. So this idea of being all high and mighty of, well, you know, not every thing needs to be made public. I could say the same about your opinions on this, to be honest. I could make the exact same claim there, and it would be just as, if not more valid, given some of the things said in this video.
Everybody. And unfortunately, he shared it to people who might not actually appreciate the content of what has happened. And I come back to the first thing I said. I think it is incredibly bad optics yet again from a production team who have committed the sin of bad optics after bad optics after bad optics as bad optics.
I'd like to know what the examples of the bad optics are, please. They probably won't give any, but I would like to know what optics they are referring to.
They're as useless as the England cricket team. They just don't learn.
The way I look at it, David, we've all been, guys have been in this situation. We know what's going on here. When you're a kid, there's that girl that you really fancy. You know, you've got a pair. It's the middle of the summer. You've got your best shades on. You know, you haven't had them long. They've not got a single scratch on them. You're going to wear them all summer. You know, you're really, really proud of them. And then that girl that you fancy asks if she can try them on. You think, oh, okay, I really like her, so I'll let her wear my sunglasses. And then the next thing you know, whatever girl you got a crush on wants to have a go in your new car. All that kind of thing. Oh, okay, whatever. You know, what's the worst thing that can happen? It's that kind of thing. But firstly, Russell T Davies is 65.
60.
This guy's 60. We're near enough.
Yeah.
Secondly, this is not some knackered old Vauxhall Nova that's been clocked. This is a multi-million-pound set.
But again, I ask you, who did this video harm? Apart from you guys having to see a gay person for 30 seconds, who did this video harm? Oh, a couple people thought he was the 16th Doctor for 5 seconds until he went, actually, I'm not. Oh no! Better call the police. Better call in the army. A grave injustice, a grave crime has been committed on our screens here. No, it's just a guy.
Of what we're being told is a global standard genre TV show that's just been through the ringer, and they'll cheapen it to this extent. I cannot believe the lapse of judgment and taste on show here. And as I say, I don't begrudge Oliver Cole a happy birthday.
I mean, you called him a wanker, so you clearly begrudge him a little bit. You clearly do a little bit, given the way you were speaking about the guy, but sure.
I don't even think I blame him.
Oh, I don't.
No.
Because it's like I said, it's got production.
It really doesn't. Like, I'm sorry. Again, I've played the video earlier. It really doesn't. Yes, he's on the big expensive set, and yes, it's being filmed, but it's quite obvious if you watch the video that it's being filmed on an iPhone in about a minute. That, again, why are we... Maybe it is just that they're tech illiterate and don't understand. This was not some big production. You can tell. You can tell by the grain on the footage. You can tell by the way it's been shot and the way it's all been shot in portrait. It's been filmed on a phone for the purpose, likely, obviously, as well, you know, sharing it on social media. And what's wrong with that?
Not it. That's not him. That's Russell and his team. Like I said, it's not like...
No, that is exactly what it is. I mean, like, obviously I wasn't there, so I can't, like, 100% say with certain... That's exactly what it is. Like, again, look at this footage and tell me it was done by, like, a professional director with a professional camera. It just wasn't.
Like, it's been taken by somebody's camera, like, who was with him and got a couple of shots, and then he's put it on his Instagram. It's got music. It's
again, the music can be done in 5 seconds on Instagram. Please understand that putting music on a video is not that hard anymore. I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Got camera work. It's got
camera work. It's just, they were just stood there and they got different shots. Is this camera work? Is me doing this, some like Spielbergian level camera work? Or is it just someone filming something on their phone? Like, which is what this clearly is.
Yeah.
If you didn't know any better, this almost looks like a really high-profile audition.
It really does. I'm sorry. Maybe again, it's just not understanding what this stuff actually looks like and not being able to tell the difference. And I can't begrudge them too harshly for that. But if you know social media and you know technology, this was not some grand epic production. This film quality thing, it really wasn't.
If you didn't know any better. So I think, I think some people said, "Oh, but wouldn't we do that in the chat?" Yeah, of course. If Russell...
I like that even their chat are like, "Come on, guys, even we would do this." Like even the chat of this channel, which I can only assume largely agrees with the optics and the politics of what they're espousing here. Even they're like, "Come on, guys, we would all do this," and we would. Let's be real, we would.
Or somebody was to show and said, "Do you want to come and have a look on the set?" We all would jump at that chance.
Exactly.
And we'd all probably really enjoy it. And I hope sincerely that Oliver did enjoy this because it is a rare thing.
I couldn't care less.
See, she does seem a bit more normal than the rest of them. He's just like, "Oh, I couldn't give a shit." Which, whatever. Like, I guess you don't know the guy, but like, I don't know. It just seems needlessly nasty at this just random guy that you've just decided is a wanker. You've decided that he's got a sickness. Again, I bring up that word again. You've decided that he ponces about, all these words that you're using that clearly invoke a certain thing, and we all know what you're invoking, and you know what you're invoking. But, I don't wish any ill of him. Come on. Of course you do. We're not stupid.
I just think for him, I hope he enjoyed it. And I think I'm talking about personally for him. But like you said, it's more the wider thing of sharing it on this wider profile at the stage the shows.
At the time Oliver Cole posted this, do you want to know how many followers he had? About 2,000, I think it was. They're acting as though, in all fairness, the image of him was posted by Russell, and Russell has a couple 100,000 followers, so okay, sure. The video itself, which is the thing that they seem to be getting all bent out of shape over, was posted on a profile with 2,000 followers on it. And, I have more followers on Instagram than that. Obviously, I think Oliver has since overtaken me, and, congratulations to him. But you understand the point I'm making, right? This wasn't like some, I don't know, like, oh, it went out to millions of people, and millions of people across the world saw it. No. At best, probably, given impressions and everything on these sites, maybe 100,000. Maybe a little bit more. Which, yeah, you could say is a lot, but most of them would just go, "Oh, it's just a guy on the TARDIS. Cool. Well, anyway," and that would be it.
See, now, when Russell hasn't even really talked about this special beyond a couple of sentences.
I mean, to be fair, what do you want him to say? It's... At the time this was released, it's well, actually, it might be by the time this comes out. This might have been out in December. Let's say it was December 2025 when this video was posted. It's not out for another year. What do you want the man to say? I don't know. Of course, I'd love some more Doctor Who news on the special, don't get me wrong. I love covering it, but it's a year away. We're not going to know much yet.
But
He's not
this just
confirmed
goes to show
anything.
there's nothing's changed. There's no trying to take it seriously now. It's not serious. You cannot take it serious. And yes, that's right, Matthew. My face is I actually got a glimpse of my face, and I've got facial recognition thing in my head. That was...
Yeah, no, oh my god, he actually just said out loud the thing that I said before. Okay, I thought some people were going to say, "Oh, you're reaching" by calling it disgust on his face. No, he literally said that's what it was on his face. So, disgust at seeing this man. He's admitted it. What's this? Twink and rectal domination in space. I wonder what Darren Bradley 1282 means by this. It really is a head scratcher, isn't it?
I'm just disgusted by this. I find it gross and just not Doctor Who. And I just...
It's not Doctor Who, though. It's a guy. It's just a guy on the TARDIS. My God. You know, people often say that people like to the left politically are like snowflakes. But is this not the biggest snowflake thing ever? You have made a 20-minute video whining and saying, oh, this guy's disgusting, this guy, he ponces about, and he's a wanker, and all of this, over some guy in the TARDIS. Is that not the most snowflake thing ever?
I've had enough of it.
It's
It's
a life.
ridiculous. And we've still got a bloody another 12 months of this shit to go.
God.
What's he going to do? Give every influencer. I'm believing he's an influencer. You know, who knows? But is
not
he
got a
going
lot
to
of
give every
followers.
time someone has a fucking birthday that he's in? He's like, hey, I'm going to.
He's certainly influenced me to unfollow Russell T Davies.
Oh, yeah, hilarious, mate. Good one.
Oh, I
that
did that.
counts.
I
Real
did
zinger.
that over a year ago, and I've been happier for it. He's
One of
sick.
several
He's
comments
sick
here in
in
the
the
live
head.
chat. One of several comments we've got in the live chat on YouTube, Matt, is what's happened to the show I loved. That's from Star Hoovian.
A gay guy was on the TARDIS for 20 seconds, and you're all getting bent out of shape over it. That's what happened. That video done. That's what happened here.
There's several people who figuratively have their heads in their hands. Lots of people agree with you, with everybody. The guy looks like a tryhard. Well, he's a poser, isn't he? That's how these people behave. He's a model. He's whatever he is. He's probably quite successful at it, but
And
I
he's a
think it's
gay
also
model.
quite
Oh, there we go. They just said the bit out loud. They've said the quiet bit out loud. He's a gay model. Sound the alarms. He's gay. Sound the alarms. Oh no! A gay model was let on the TARDIS. What are we gonna do? The show's ruined now. Fucking hell.
also quite insulting to actors, some of whom may wish to.
Yeah, no, I'm sure David Tennant is looking at this going, "Gah, can't believe that guy's on the TARDIS." I don't think they care. I think actors just want work.
Actually audition for the next for the role of the part, because essentially they may actually not get to do what a friend of the show, the former showrunner, has managed to get done, and they are actually well-versed, qualified actors of some of whom will be of immense repute.
I could be wrong. You know, if you're an actor, if Hugh Grant or I don't know who are the other ones that people always say in the run-in to be the next Doctor, Chris Marshall or Rose Ailing-Ellis, who we've spoken about before, who was one of the bookies' favourites, or whoever, sound off in the comments. Are you upset? Because I don't think they are. I think what half of this video is imagining scenarios that could have happened, maybe, but didn't. That's what this video is.
You know, and I think it's quite insulting to that profession also. If I can just sound a little bit outraged for a moment.
Ncuti Gatwa never got a bespoke introduction scene in the way that, for example, Jodie Whittaker did he?
No.
He never got anything like this. Oliver Cole has just had as a birthday present.
What did Matt say there? I couldn't hear what he said there. I couldn't hear what he said there, but I could infer from the fact that he's saying it under his breath, given the stuff that he said out loud in this video, that it probably wasn't good. And also, Ncuti Gatwa didn't need a 30-second Instagram video of him on the TARDIS because he played the bloody Doctor! Why would you want that? That's the equivalent of saying, it's really sad that, like, this bus driver wasn't in this bus driver ad. He drives a bus every day. I don't think he cares. Like, I don't...
Yeah, I think
Nobody is on board with this decision, it would seem, Charlotte. Nobody is happy with this. And you could say, well, it doesn't affect us in any way. 60 seconds.
Well, it doesn't. Look at him! He's seething! This one over here is literally, like, seething over this. Literally, like, he could not be more, like, venal over this. You know? And you're right. Those people who are saying it doesn't affect you, it literally doesn't. This is the most pointless exercise I have ever witnessed on YouTube. And frankly, for 4 fully grown adults, get a grip.
It's a best of your life, and then you move on and think about it. But I honestly do think that at the moment, the state that the show is in, its currency as a cultural institution is weaker than ever. And little things like this will mount up.
Oh no. When they write about when Doctor Who, because it inevitably will, eventually Doctor Who will get taken off the air at some point. It's just inevitable. It happened, you know, with the classic series. There will come a point where no more new Doctor Who is made. But I highly doubt in the encyclopedias and in the documentaries made on the history of Doctor Who, there's going to be some, you know, documentarian there saying, and actually the reason why Doctor Who ended in 2027 was actually because of this one 30-second video of this guy on the TARDIS, and this damaged the brand so severely that they had to shut it down. No, that just sounds absurd, because it is.
Yeah, it's death by 1,000 cuts, isn't it?
How much worse can it possibly get? Got some treats coming up, maybe. I don't know. What do you think, Tom?
Well, it's my birthday today, Russell. Can I get into the TARDIS, please?
Absolute travesty of a video. That might be the worst video I've watched, and I don't say that lightly. I've reacted to a lot of videos. That's one of the worst. I think what gets me about it is that back in the day with these types of videos, they used to try and be subtle about it, right? They used to be like, oh, you know, oh, it's just the message, or it's just being too politically correct, or woke, or they would use all these obfuscations, all these words to kind of try and make it sound faux intellectual, right? To try and act as though there was an actual basis for this. Whereas with this, they're like, nah, he's just a gay model and we don't like seeing him and he ponces about and does all this and that's it. And again, like, they don't even really comment on Russell's relationship here with him, so, you know, again, I've said all I've said on that before. I did a whole short on it. As far as I'm concerned, none of my business. And I wish them both very, very happy. But stuff like this, what they basically did was make a whole 20-minute video just lambasting a guy on the TARDIS for being too gay. Like, that is what this video was. Completely and utterly. And if you look at the comments, look at some of the comments. Queer as who? Wonder what he means by that. And now, in all fairness, there are quite a few people calling this out. Sam from Cybers Industries, you're actually pathetic if you find a man on a piece of film set gross. It's nothing to do with the actual show. What are you talking about? Oliver's mate clearly had spent 20 seconds to film from different angles and then spent 30 seconds mixing it together. Your point is laughable. I said this. It's really not that hard to cut it together. 932, walking around like what? Like a gay person? Exactly. That's exactly what they mean, and they said it out loud later on. Okay, granted, it's a little bit weird he's had a full video made, but you homophobic virgins are reaching so hard. I was howling when you said it's a disgrace to actors wanting to audition for the show. Ha 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 ha. Please do touch grass. As I've said before, if there are any actors who felt, I don't know, in some way shortchanged by this, let me know, but it strikes me as unlikely. A bit clumsy as regards to the brand, sure, but the butthurt homophobia on display in this whining video is pathetic. Guys, get some insight. So sad. And you know what? I think that's a good place to end it. J.N. Nielsen has absolutely nailed anything I could say here. But that's my thoughts on this. If you enjoyed it, subscribe. You can probably tell I'm a little bit heated, but that's because I genuinely think this is horrible. Don't talk to people like this. Don't talk about people like this. If there's one thing I want this channel to be a space for, it's for anyone to be able to be a part of it and be a part of the community. And stuff like this, all it does is sow division and hatred for no other reason than, well, in this case, it's not even like it's financial because it didn't even do that well, but at the very least, it's, you know, it's trying to push something that divides us, and I needed to call that out. And again, you know, I'm not asking, like, don't go into their comments and start, like brigading or anything like that. I've said what I've had to say. That'll be the end of it. Cheers.